Hello students, how are you? So today in this session we are going to be continuing with the second chapter in science, that is nutrition in animals. In the first video or in the previous session I have given you an outline of human digestive system, and I have told you that in the next session we will be discussing about each and every part in detail. So that is exactly what we are going to do in this session. Yeah. So our digestive system starts from where? From the mouth. This is where we take in food. Okay. The process of taking in food is known as ingestion. Okay. The process of taking in food and chewing it in the mouth. That process is known as ingestion. So when we are learning about digestive system, the first thing that we are going to learn is about the mouth and the buccal cavity. Okay, in this particular topic, there are 4 important points that you have to learn. Okay, the first is ingestion. What do you mean by ingestion? Ingestion is the process of taking in food by the mouth and chewing it. That process is known as ingestion. Okay, that is the first point. Chewing of food with teeth and breaking it down mechanically is the first process that happens in the mouth. Okay, we ate roti sabji. We put that in the mouth and we chew it. The process of chewing it is, why do we chew it? Because with the help of teeth, we actually break down the food particles into simpler complexes, simple substances, so that it's easy for digestion. Okay, so in our mouth now, I have shown you that there is a gland below the tongue called salivary gland. The salivary gland, as the name suggests, secretes saliva. What is the purpose of saliva? Saliva helps in better to chew it's a watery substance, so it helps in the process of chewing, and it's also easy if there is water-like substance in the food, so it is easy to swallow also. निगलने के लिए भी it help करता है ना? So salivary gland secretes saliva. Saliva also helps down to break food into simpler substances. That is, into if we are eating carbohydrate, it is converted into helps in the decomposition of carbohydrate into sugar. Okay, मतलब simple substances में it converts saliva. Okay, and there is also tongue in the mouth, है ना? So what is the purpose of tongue, students? Tongue is used for helping in the chewing process. It helps in swallowing also, and we have taste buds in the tongue, है ना? So it is used for sensation of various food. We can taste the food if it is salty or spicy or sweet. We can taste. We can know if it is very hot or if it is very cold. So tongue is basically used for mixing up of food in the mouth as well as for tasting of food. And also with the help of tongue only we swallow the food. Okay, these are the 4 main points about mouth and buccal cavity. Number 1 is ingestion, number 2 is chewing food, number 3 about salivary gland, and number 4 about tongue. These are the 4 outline points in mouth and buccal cavity. So next is food pipe or esophagus. What do I mean by food pipe or esophagus? It has just one purpose. Food pipe is this connecting part between the mouth and the stomach. The food we eat वो मुंह से सीधा stomach पे जाता है. So that connection between mouth and stomach is known as esophagus. That is food pipe. The pipe through which the food passes through the stomach. It reaches the stomach. The food passes in a downward motion most of the times. Okay, and rarely sometimes अगर पेट खराब है or if we eat something which is not very healthy and we have some food poisoning, तो rarely vomit भी होता है. So rarely only food comes out of the stomach to the mouth. That is known as puking or vomiting. That is rarely, but most of the times food goes in the downward motion. That is the only purpose of food pipe or esophagus. Right? So I hope mouth and buccal cavity and esophagus is clear to you. Okay. So the third is stomach. Can you see? Stomach. Okay. So in stomach also we have to understand 4 important points. Okay. So stomach is, always remember students, stomach is the widest part in the digestive system. Okay, so stomach has basically two openings. It's a C-like semicircle-like structure. It's spongy. It has thick walls, and it has two openings. The upper opening is to the esophagus. So food pipe से खाना stomach में जाता है. That is one opening. And from stomach the food is transported to the small intestine. I have shown you a C-like structure in the digestive system. You can refer the textbook. So there are two openings in the stomach. That is one is on the food pipe section, and downward is to the small intestine section. It is the widest part, one end to the food pipe and other to the small intestine. Okay. So this stomach now, the inner lining of stomach secretes three things. It is very important. Exam में पक्का पूछेंगे. Stomach secretes three things. One is mucus, second is hydrochloric acid, and third is digestive juices. Okay, and each of these things now have particular function. Mucus is a Golgi-like wet, sticky-like substance which is situated or which is present in the stomach. Basically, it helps in the protection of the lining of the stomach, because stomach, as you can see, that secretes hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid is used for killing in of any bacteria that enter in our system through the food we eat. It helps in killing those bacteria. Okay, so mucus का काम ये है कि when the stomach is secreting hydrochloric acid ना, तो that acid must not damage the stomach, because it is hot. Acid hot होता है ना, so it must not damage the stomach. So this mucus actually helps in the prevention of damage of the inner lining of the stomach because of this hydrochloric acid. And the third is digestive juices. Digestive juices, as the name suggests, it helps in the process of digestion. It helps in the breakdown of protein into simpler substances. Basically, all the digestive juices in all parts of the body has only one purpose. Whatever food comes to their part. Okay, our food, stomach में जब food आता है, तो before passing the food to the small intestine, the stomach's purpose or digestive juices in the stomach's only purpose is to break down into simpler substances and pass it to the another part of the digestive system. Yeah, I hope this is clear to you. Stomach में भी 4 points है. Widest part, one end to the food pipe and other end to the small intestine it opens. It secretes three things: mucus, hydrochloric acid, and digestive juices. Hydrochloric acid is for the destroying any bacteria which enters in our system. Mucus for the protection of the stomach, and digestive juices is for the digestion. So next is small intestine. And then there is absorption and large intestine. These are the three topics that is remaining in the digestive system. I will quickly write it down and then we'll continue. Okay. So next is small intestine. Small intestine is that part of the digestive system where complete digestion takes place, and that is the last part where digestion takes place. मतलब digestion यहाँ पे complete हो जाता है. And after small intestine comes large intestine, and large intestine में कोई भी type of digestion doesn't happen. Okay, so small intestine is the most important part, and you have to understand 5 important points in small intestine. We have to remember small intestine is the longest part of a digestive system. For a grown-up adult, a small intestine might be as long as 7.5 meters long. It is highly coiled and placed inside our body. Okay, the small intestine receives digestive juices from both liver and pancreas, and small intestine's inner lining also secretes its own digestive juices. Okay, so receives secretion from liver and pancreas, that is the first point, and also secretes its own juices. Okay, what is the purpose of liver? Liver के अंदर, if you remember, it's a reddish brown gland. You have to remember it is a reddish brown gland. It is the largest gland in the digestive system. Okay, liver is the largest gland. It produces bile salts or bile juices. liver has a gland known as gallbladder. Gallbladder stores this bile juices. Bile juices is secreted into the small intestine and it helps in the digestion of fats. That is the main purpose of bile juices. Okay, it is because of this decrease in the bile salts or bile juices that we have this disease known as jaundice, where हम yellow हो जाता है ना. That is because liver doesn't function properly. Okay, that is the purpose of liver. Pancreas is also a cream colored gland which also secretes juices into the small intestine, and its purpose is also the same. It breaks down various carbohydrates, proteins and fats into simpler substances. That is the purpose of pancreas. Okay, and this partly after all the secretion of juices and all the digestion process is done, when even if there is partly undigested food is remaining, so small intestine also produces its own digestive juices. Okay, so these digestive juices are it works on the partly undigested food, and the remaining undigested food is also digested with the help of intestinal juices. Okay, and here complete breakdown of food happens. That is, carbohydrates is converted into simpler glucose or simple sugars. Fat is converted into fatty acids or glycerol, and proteins is converted into amino acids. Conversion of protein into amino acid is the most important part. That is, amino acids is basic fundamental unit in a DNA. Our DNA has a lot of amino acids, right? So protein dismantles into amino acids in the small intestine. Okay, next is so the undigested food, if there is anything remaining, all the food is digested in the small intestine. And next is absorption of food items in the food. Okay, in the digestive system. I'll just quickly write it down. So, next is absorption of food in the small intestine and large intestine. These are the two parts of the digestive system, which is the last part of the digestive system, and the process of digestion will be completed after this. Okay. So once this all food is digested and carbohydrates, proteins and fats, everything is broken down into simpler substances. Okay, it cannot be further divided into simpler substances. Now what is necessary? Okay, protein से अगर amino acid बन गया, ठीक है? तो this amino acid has to be absorbed to our body. It has to absorb and it has to reach those cells where DNA is generated. और carbohydrate से sugar बना दिया, then these simple substances has to reach to all parts of the body where functioning is happening. है ना? So for that, there are three main processes that is happening in the small absorption process. That is absorption in itself. That is absorption of various nutrients in the small intestine. After the food is digested completely, it has to be absorbed into the body. Okay. So that is known as absorption. Okay. And how this absorption happens is with the help of villi. Just a minute. Villi. Villi is a finger-like substance. If just imagine this is the inner lining of the small intestine, then it will have a lot of finger-like. It will have thousands of finger-like substance of growth in it. Okay. So this finger-like growth helps in the increase in the surface area of the digestive small intestine. It has a lot of tiny blood vessels or nerves which has blood vessels in them, and these really absorbs all the nutrients and it transports to the various parts of the body. Basically absorption hota hai with the help of this villi. Okay. And next is assimilation. Assimilation is the transportation of all the absorbed nutrients into the respective places. For example, carbohydrate में से glucose तो absorb कर दिया, break down करके glucose absorb कर दिया. Now glucose has to reach those cells where respiration is happening, because respiration requires a lot of energy. So glucose provides energy, right? So this has to reach the cells or those organs where respiration is happening. So the transportation of all the required nutrients to respective places is known as assimilation, right? That is all about absorption. Last is large intestine. It is 1.5 meter long. Large intestine में कोई भी digestion process नहीं होता है. The undigested food comes into the large intestine, and large intestine, what it does is basically absorbs any water or some salts if remaining. It absorbs, and rest, whatever product is remaining, that is known as fecal matter, or it is known as the waste product. And that waste product passes through the rectum and it is thrown out of the body through anus. The process of throwing out of food from the body is known as egestion. Okay, the process of throwing out of unwanted waste product from the body is known as egestion. That's about large intestine. Okay, I hope the process of digestive system is absolutely clear to you. Okay, thank you. Bye.